Hi, my name is Olivier Robath, and I am the founder of the school How to Make Boot from Your Garage. Now, about over 5 years of teaching and having today over 400 students, I discover and learn myself how to teach. That one thing, but I learn so much information from you guys about human and how we are, how we approach something new, and how we learn, and how also, and that is very important, how we perceive ourselves. The funny thing is, I spend most of my time with my students stopping you guys to put yourself down. That's the reality. I was very surprised that I was spending so much time on that instead of spending time more on nourishing you. We are extremely tough on ourselves. And we really think that by kicking our own ass hardly, that's the way. No, it's not the way. I can tell you one thing. To be gentle, to be kind, give way more result. Love is really something that has to be implemented and practiced all the time. The hard way never give ever result. We have fear and we are terrorized by the strength and the force. It never bloom or help people to bloom. So I learn a lot from my students how we perceive ourselves. And also by listening my students, I learn a lot, of course. So instead of, I had different options and I wanted to write what I discover and what I learn in order to share, because I adore sharing, and I think without sharing in life, you're nothing, absolutely nothing. So the problem with books is you write and it can be reinterpreted, manipulated, like most very sacred books, and reused for completely sometimes opposite purpose. Today with a video you can express yourself directly, you can see the person, you can hear his voice or her voice, and therefore you got beyond the meaning, million of informations through the sound that the brain catch. You cannot lie if you know how to hear. You cannot lie. You hear the truth through the sound. So now, more than the meaning. So now I decide to, instead, and using this platform YouTube, which I believe is absolutely extraordinary to communicate to each other, I decide not to write, but to record that book, but as a video. And each chapter will be based on a theme, and I will not continue and pursue if I don't have 10 thumbs up, because I'm not here to bother anyone. If I'm not sure that you are interested, guys, then I stop. I'm not here to impose. I hate it. So the important things I choose is different notions, which mean the first chapter will be the notion to be poor. Interesting. Second one will be to be individual, and the third will be successful, how to be successful and what means this notion of success. Basically, I open subject on important subject that should be the foundations of our society. Curiously, I discovered that for the past, let's say 5,000 years, we never implement any foundation. We install laws not based on human foundations, which mean what define the notions of a woman in our society. Did we define children in our society? Plants in our society? In fact, we never implement any foundation. and we build our society on laws, but not based on fundamental values. An interesting example is this writer named Martial, Martial. Martial was a writer from the first century, time of Christ, indeed, and he lived in Rome. Wrote books because there were no printer at that time, small booklets, sell it to very rich high society, and he was like a critic of high society. I really encourage yourself to find this book. You have it published, and so you have the Latin translations also in front, thanks God. And believe me, you keep coming back to the front page because you cannot accept it was written at the time of Christ. Because what you read is basically the New York Times. We never change. At that time, the rich snub the poor. The poor want to be rich. The man has his lover, the woman has his own lovers. Women giving their fortune to go to paradise at time of Christ. You see, we already speculate on the guy. We never change, same values. So basically, I learned from this testimony that no matter what, behind the horse, behind the wheel, or behind the spaceship, it's the same moron. We have the same values. Who abuse, kill, steal, lie. So basically, we have no change. We never change. Oh, technologically, yes, we go faster for extermination. But do we grow as consciousness? Never. In fact, we never work on our values, ever. And that is very alarming, because we have no chance to change. So I don't claim to change, but I claim to bring something on the table. Because I want. What the purpose in life? Otherwise. That's to me. So that was very important to decide to open the subject and to bring some important notions. And so these notions who I want to develop is already the understanding how we function. Keep in mind that what you see is what you think. Yes, it's not like we have a hole in the eyes and light comes and we see. Wrong. We discovered that, for instance, and a good example of this man who were born with the illness and so lost his sight at very young age, like a baby, and got fixed at age 30 or 40, way after. The eyes properly work, he still cannot see. Why? Because the brain did never analyze the image. So it's all blur. It's going to take years to define what you see. Years. Which means that your brain also translates and have to describe and learn how to see. Which means that the thought is the main camera. If your thoughts are limited, your sight is limited. That's kind of scary. Because if you control the thought, then you control the visions of everyone. You see the purpose of giving very poor education? Yes, very alarming. So consciousness is an open mind, open sight. And that is very important. Semantic, which is the thought, is something very precious, because without the thoughts and control correctly your thoughts, you start to see wrong things, perceive from yourself wrong ways. And you start to believe in it because you see it. No. So the semantic, when you have this notion of poor, and I hear so many people saying, I'm poor, that destroys me. And so that's the first subject I want to open. What it means, poor. Poor, for most of us, it means you don't have any green. You don't have any bill. You don't have a digit on the banking account. That's called poor for you. for most of us, which is completely wrong. Poor, it means you have no resources. Wait a minute. You have your arms, your legs, your mind. You are a human being. Wake up. You are extremely powerful. Poor means without resources. You have everything. In fact, with a pencil and a paper, you reinvent the world. You are the most talented, incredible, strong, gorgeous life form on this planet. How can you today, after 2 million years of evolutions, having that feelings? Because you don't have a digit on a banking account. You see, and you have that feeling. Remember what Tibetans say, the real misery is to feel miserable. No matter what, if you feel miserable, you are miserable. It's no joke. So you are your own feelings. Just be careful. Because if you bring that feeling to you, you put yourself at that level. You can't. You are gorgeous, powerful. Open your mind. Remember. Remember. And that is, no one wants to tell you that. Because we are cheap. So, poor, I will say, and right away you're going to change these expressions. You're short in cash. And technically, I'm perfectly right. You are short in cash. Your cash flow is negative. What's the problem? Do you think, and did you ever heard about a banker who tell you, I'm poor? Never. Because he know what money means. Nothing. He's short in cash. Maybe he owns $10 trillion. His balance sheet is negative. What a big deal. You just have $10 in your pocket, which is way positive of this banker who owns $1 trillion, and you tell me you're poor.